quarterback. He's been to the Super Bowl, been to the conference championship. Each year he's been a starter. And versus Tom Brady, he's been in the league about 20 years. He's 43 years old, 6-time Super Bowl champion. This is his 10th one. If not for Eli Manning and Nick Foles, he would be a 9-time champion. Yeah. Yeah. Today I'm gonna do a little comparison between player stats with the two teams and key players on the teams, pretty much, and talk about what we need to do to make sure that the Chiefs can run it back, so to speak.
Right.
Okay, so Tom Brady this season, he completed 65% of his passes, passed for 4,643 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions.
Wow.
Yeah, this season. I think he's the oldest quarterback to pass for 40 touchdowns in the NFL. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe he's one. I know he's one of the oldest. About 43.
He did all that this season?
Yeah, this year. And meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes passed for completed 63%, 4,740 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, and also he missed Week 17. Meanwhile, that's it. Because it was the end of the season. He already won 14 games, clinched home field advantage. He didn't need to play, along with Kelsey and other key players on the team.
Right.
And also, we're going to have I combined Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, running backs for the Buccaneers. I combined their stats because one was more of a backup role, and then the other one produced kind of well but got hurt late in the year. So these two combined, they rushed for 1,345 yards and 13 touchdowns altogether.
Combined.
Yeah, those two combined. And one's a shiftier back. He's kind of speedy. And Leonard Fournette he's known in Jacksonville where he was drafted, and then he became a free agent, signed with Tampa Bay, and he hasn't been the same, but he's still a threat to run. He's a powerful running back, so we have to game tackle him. Newly drafted running back for the Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, this season ran for 803 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he missed, I think, 3 weeks with a high ankle sprain, and he played last week, and he scored a touchdown in that game too. So it was good to see him back in the game.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe he would have rushed for 1,000 yards if he wouldn't have gotten injured. We'll never know.
Yeah, 3 more games he missed. So what is the average a game?
I think he averaged 4 yards per carry in the games that he played. So it's pretty good. It's not that bad.
Right. So he's over 100 yards a game, though, basically, isn't he? Average over 100.
Yeah.
Had at least 1,100 probably.
Yeah, he would have had 1,000 yards.
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about the receiving matchup between Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans.
That's his competition?
Yeah, on the other side, Tyreek Hill. They got to deal with Mike Evans, our defense actually. And Tyreek Hill this season, 87 catches, 1,276 yards, and 15 touchdowns.
Dang.
Yep. And Mike Evans, only 70 catches, 1,006 yards, 13 touchdowns. A lot of them were in the red zone because he's a big, tall receiver. He can jump. He can go up and make jump balls, and he can. Yeah, so he's a big target in the red zone for Tom Brady to deal with. Tyreek Hill, he can do anything on the field. Anytime he touches the ball, he's a threat to score. So, his blazing speed, he knows what to do when the ball's in his hand.
Right.
So, Tampa Bay's going to have to deal with that. And I'll talk about that game that we played later in the video.
Right, we played them already this
Yeah,
year.
we played them in Week 12. Once I'm done with this, I'll bring it back. Okay, tight end. Well, also let me bring up one more thing. Chris Godwin, receiver on the Buccaneers, He had 65 catches, 840 yards, 7 touchdowns. In this postseason, he was kind of lacking confidence in some of the games. Like the Washington game, he dropped a few passes, and then he got it going in the next game. The Rams, no, who did they play? Well, the next team that they played, and then Green Bay, he started to catch.
Was it the Rams?
No, it was the Saints.
Saints. Yeah. Saints.
Yeah, in the Saints game, he made some plays. Yeah, he knows how to he knows what he's doing. He's a linky receiver. He's not not like really skinny, but he's shifty. He's pretty fast. He knows he's a good route runner, pretty much. Honestly.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's head on to the tight ends. We got Travis Kelce, 105 catches, 1,416 yards, and 11 touchdowns, which are Chiefs franchise records for both catches and yards by a tight end, passing great Tony Gonzalez.
Excellent.
Yeah. So yeah, he plays second in the league in receiving yardage behind Stephon Diggs, and he missed week 17. So he possibly could have led the league if he had played. Maybe a half, he could have got it.
Right.
They didn't want to risk anyone getting hurt, so I understand. Rob Gronkowski, he's been with Tom Brady before. A lot of people know his name. Down in New England, they won 3 titles together. He was this big target. We've had a lot of trouble with him before then.
Right.
So, Rob Gronkowski this season, only 45 catches, 623 yards, 7 touchdowns. Big threat in the red zone, and he can get down the field if he gets behind, say, a safety. He's too fast he's too big to catch it over him. I mean, for them to try and make a play on the ball. Like if he gets a high enough pass over a safety, he'll catch it.
Right.
And he's not as fast as he used to be anymore. I don't think he's not nearly as fast.
No.
But we get him. But if he gets open on the corner, he'll make a cut down the field, and he'll make something out of it, pretty much. Like they've been there before, so
Right.
they know what to do. So do Mahomes and Kelce, so it's not doubt that either. And I'm going to talk about a couple more players this time on the defensive side. You got Tyrann Mathieu, who most people know as a Honey Badger, played in LSU. He was with, I believe, Arizona, right? And then he went to Houston, and then signed with Kansas City last season. He has 62 total tackles, 9 pass deflections, and 6 interceptions, and 1 on for a touchdown.
That's a Honey Badger?
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu, number 32. Most people recognize him. He's one of the leaders on the defense, pretty much.
Nice.
And Devin White, he's another player. He's on Tampa Bay. He really anchors their defense along with Levante David. And he had 140 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and a total of 9 sacks on this season. Yeah, we have to confuse their linebacking core with a combination of our speed and our route running. Like our receivers know what to do when they're in zone against teams, when the defense is in zone coverage. Like if you're in zone, you recognize you're in zone. You know, the first down is like 7 yards. You know, you go up the field, you see they backing off, you just stop in front of the line, catch it, and make a cut. Like that's what we have to do to make sure he doesn't have a big game, because he knows he can go off.
Right.
Yeah, let's go on with. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Tom Brady's Super Bowl appearances, a few of them. Like all the ones that he's won, all of them have been about 1 score, except for the last one, which was against the Rams team, and their defense held them to 3 points. So, and a few of those were lucky coincidences. I feel like the first one. This was the beginning of Tom Brady. Like he had to be known. Like this was last year's Super Bowl for Mahomes. It was his first appearance and it was his first season as a start. Well, he wasn't. I think he was beginning to start. Drew Bledsoe was hurt, and he filled in.
Right. Yeah.
And they upset the Rams in that game. He drove them down the field. They kicked the field goal. And the next one, the Panthers game, kicker kicked it out of bounds. They only had to get like 20, 40 yards. Adam Vinatieri kicked field goal. It's over. And then one against Andy Reid's Eagles, they had a chance to drive and win, or at least get in field goal range. Donovan McNabb threw 3 interceptions in that game, and one more, and the last one was the last one. Like, that was it. Rodney Harrison intercepted.
Right, so it sounds like he's more of a lucky quarterback.
He gets it done, but a few things have to happen for the
right, more of a, if something, if they do bad, he will do great.
Hey, and he can't get those. If he get those interceptions and stuff like he did last game.
Hey, who do you think gonna win the Super Bowl?
And there was the one with the last two were pretty much teams failing to run the ball on chances that they had to either kill the game or to possibly score late in the game. Like Super Bowl 49, I believe it was, with the Seahawks. We threw that where they got on the 1 yard line. Interception. Malcolm Butler made his name. And then, that was that one.
Right.
And then the Falcons, 28-3. They just didn't know how to score in the fourth quarter at all. So, and then they kept giving Tom Brady chances. There was a strip sack, a holding penalty, and when they were in field goal range, gave up a sack on that drive. And two 2-point conversions later, the game's tied up. So that one was kind of a string of luck, but good defense as well. So it's at the end of the game anyway. So.
Right.
Yeah, that was that. And then one more thing I'm going to bring up, the Week 12 matchup, which was Patrick Mahomes threw for 337 completions out of 49, 462 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Brady passed for 227 for 41, 345 yards, 3 touchdowns, and threw 2 interceptions in that game. And he had Mahomes had Tyreek Hill to throw to, who had caught 203 yards in the first quarter of that game, 13 catches, ended the game with 263 yards and 3 touchdowns, and made a famous quote from Shannon Sharp: "Help is on the way over top." That was a cool moment for the Chiefs to win that game and to have that performance. So I believe it's a franchise record. And they're gonna have to. They can't single cover. Like, it's not gonna happen if you cover them in single coverage. So they're gonna have to double them, chip them at the line, do it, make sure the ball doesn't get in his hands, because he knows what to do with it.
Right.
And that's what I think that's gonna have to do there.
Who do you think is the better quarterback out of Patrick and Tom Brady?
Currently, the better QB is Brady, because Mahomes has only played for 4 years. He still has time to become.
Right. So for this season, I would say it would probably be Mahomes was better. You just this season, if they went over stats.
Yeah, this season he was better. Mahomes missed the game, so he could have led the league in passing yardage.
Yep. Just like he did last season, he had 50 plus touchdowns, and
that was the year before.
And he was at last year he was out like 3 games or something when he had the knee injury.
Yeah, he was out
he almost
2 games.
Yeah, 2 games. So I mean,
he was in the running for MVP that season too.
Yeah. So,
but I'm interested. I'm interested to see what's gonna happen. It should be fun to watch. I predict that the score, that it's gonna be high scoring, but eventually, one defense is gonna get too tired and another team is gonna score in the game. Like, so I predict the score is going to be about, I'm going to say 45-35 Kansas City. That's what I'm going to say the final score is going to be.
All right.